Have you ever felt that there is something in you that no one can break? A silent, almost invisible force that protects you even at the darker moments? According to the revelations of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, there are only 4 signs that carry a unique spiritual seal: a closed body against any negative energy, and a soul shielded by forces that most do not imagine. These signs walk around the world as true living, untouchable fortresses, chosen for missions that go beyond human understanding. It is no coincidence when they escape dangerous situations, when they present something before they happen, or when a chance completely changes the course of their lives. It is protection. It is destination. It is the universe conspiring in favor. Cayce described that this armor is not just a gift, but a call. Those who are born under these signs are not only strong, they are resilient, marked by silent battles that shape their essence. There is a reason for many to feel goosebumps when these people enter an environment, for enemies hesitating before they will face them, and for doors to open where everyone swore that there was no way out. These are clear signs that there is something bigger guiding every step. What if I told you that this force cannot be bought or learned, just inherited by the spirit you carry since before you are born? Today, let's dive into Edgar Cayce's words to reveal who these 4 signs are, understand what it means to have a closed body and an armored soul, and find out if your destiny was also written between them. But first, I want you to write in the comments, "I feel this strength," if deep down, you have already sensed that you are not alone. Because from now on, every detail I reveal can change the way you see your own life. So while you hear every word that I will reveal, remember, nothing comes to you by chance. If this message has found your way today, it is because there is a greater reason. So I want you to participate in this journey with me. Write in the comments what your sign is, and if you ever felt that invisible forces have intervened in your life. Share your story, because when you talk, other people who also carry this energy recognize and come together. Here, each comment is more than a text. It is a spiritual record, a seal that confirms its connection with this mystery. And if this theme arouses something in you, not just watch, interact. Leave your like now, because it makes this message reach more people who need to hear it. Activate the bell not to lose any revelation, and subscribe to the channel, because what you will find out in the coming minutes can connect with the purpose of your life. Every gesture here, a like, a comment, an inscription, strengthens our spiritual community and keeps alive the exchange of experiences that helps us better understand who we are and why we are here. Prepare yourself, because what Cayce revealed about these 4 signs goes far beyond astrology. We are talking about destination, mission, divine protection that crosses ages. Take a deep breath, open your heart and mind, and let's take the next step on this journey. Have you ever escaped something bad and couldn't explain how? Perhaps, deep down, it felt that I was not alone. Perhaps at that moment when everything seemed lost, an invisible force pulled you away from danger. There are people who call it luck, others, coincidentally. But according to the revelations of Edgar Cayce, for a few chosen, this is no chance, it is fate. It is the mark of a closed body and an armored soul, protected by forces that act beyond our understanding. These 4 signs carry such an intense energy that it is often felt before they are even seen. It is as if the environment changed, as if a subtle but powerful presence accompanied them wherever they were. Have you been close to someone who transmitted security, even in silence? Have you looked in someone's eyes and had the impression that nothing could hit him? This sensation is not created for nothing. Cayce described that these signs were born with a spiritual layer that repels negative energies, drives away malicious people, and creates a true shield around their lives. It does not mean that they do not face challenges. On the contrary, these chosen ones often undergo hard tests, situations that require emotional strength, courage, and faith. But it is precisely in these moments that your spiritual shield is revealed. How? Many times after a storm, have you ever looked back and realized that something or someone has paved an unexpected way to you? How many times has one door closed for another, better, opening? This type of protection is not purchased, not learned, not lost, because it is recorded in the soul. It is inherited even before birth as a silent pact between the spirit and the universe. And that's why, when someone tries to attack one of these signs, whether with words, energies, or intentions, the answer is not just the person, comes from a force that acts around them, cutting evil from the root. Edgar Cayce said this gift is not only a defense but also a responsibility. Those who carry this spiritual seal have not been placed here to hide or to live only for himself. There is a call, a mission that needs to be fulfilled, and often it involves protecting other people, guiding, advising, and inspiring. It's as if the universe said, "I protect you, but I want you to use this protection for something bigger." You may have already noticed this in small details. Dreams that look like warnings, bumps without explanation, an inner voice that says, "Don't go," or "Wait a little longer." For many, they are ignored signs. For those who carry this energy, they are direct instructions. This is why these signs are rarely caught by surprise. Something within them or around them always warns before the danger approaches. And it is not just a matter of avoiding evil. This shield also amplifies the presence of these people in the world. They usually attract looks, respect, and often even envy, because those who do not understand what this spiritual protection is, interprets as luck or arrogance. But anyone who has felt closely knows, it's not luck, it's fate. It is such a deep connection with superior forces that it seems impossible to break. Have you ever felt that something similar happens to you? What, even in the midst of chaos, is there a space around you where nothing can enter? That in the midst of hostile glances, is there a light that is still lit and does not go out? Perhaps this is your own shield, your own invisible brand. If you are listening to me here, it is no coincidence. There is a reason why this message is coming now, and I want you to share with me and everyone who is here your perception of it. Write in the comments the phrase, "I carry this protection," if you feel that there is something beyond logic taking care of you. Count on an experience. Describe a sign. Talk about that day when everything seemed lost and suddenly everything changed. I will be reading and answering, because every story here is part of this journey that we are building together. And if you haven't left your like or you haven't signed up, do it. From an early age, these signs felt that they did not fully belong to this world. There was something different in them, a look that went beyond, a silence that hid whole storms, and a force that seemed impossible for their age. While others lived carefree, they already carried invisible responsibilities, deep feelings, and an intuition that made them realize things before they happened. They were tested numerous times, facing losses that would pull the floor of anyone, pains that would leave eternal scars, and betrayals that could have hardened their hearts forever. But instead of breaking, each wound became an extra layer of its invisible shield. These signs have learned early that the world is not always fair, and that not every smile is sincere. They learn to read what is behind the words, to feel the energy of an environment, and to protect themselves even when no one around the danger. This is why Cayce said that this spiritual shielding is not born out of nowhere. It is forged in the fire of experiences. The more the test lasts, the stronger the armor is. And it is not a physical armor. It is a vibration that repels what does not serve, that drives away what could destroy, and that attracts only what is aligned with the soul's mission. Many do not understand how these people can get up so fast after a fall. For some it seems cold, for others, luck. But the truth is that there is something bigger behind it, a purpose that does not allow them to stay on the floor for a long time. It is as if the universe, the angels, or any superior force you believe, pull back the way who carries this energy. And this mission is not simple. It requires the courage to say no when everyone expects you, to say yes. It requires strength to follow alone when no one is willing to walk by its side. It requires faith, even when circumstances say everything is lost. And especially, it requires a heart that, despite the marks, continues to hit love and truth. Because this is the greatest weapon of those who have an armored soul. Not allow the darkness that tried to destroy it delete its light. Have you ever lived something like this? Have you ever felt that you needed to continue, even when all the reasons to give up were there, clear before you? These signs know well what that is. They carry within themselves a silent certainty that each battle was overdue was not just for them, but for all who depend on their light. Even unknowingly, there are people who cross the path of these chosen and are transformed only for being close, because the protection they carry is so intense that it expands, reaching those around. And this energy is not limited to protecting, it also guides. How many times have they been guided to make decisions that seemed meaningless at the moment, but then revealed the only possible way? How many times has a feeling saved not only his own life, but that of others. It is as if time folded to warn them before any disaster. But this sensitivity, this connection with the invisible, also has a price. Feeling too much can get tired. You can weigh. Often, these signs need to move away from the noise, seek silence, recharge their forces away from crowds because they know that being in the midst of confusing energies can drain their protection. It is not isolation by arrogance, it is self-preservation. And maybe you are recognizing yourself while listening to it. Perhaps he is remembering times when he had to close himself to the world to stay whole. Maybe remember pains that only you and the universe know, and that they still failed to destroy you. If this makes sense to you, if you feel that you were born with this invisible armor, I want you to, right here in the comments, my scars are my strength. I want to read and know how many of you carry this rare energy. And if you haven't left your like or you haven't signed up yet, Edgar Cayce said these souls are not common. They carry deeply recorded spiritual codes in their essence, such as invisible seals that were placed even before they were born on this plane. These codes are not mere mystical symbologies. They are keys to survival and on purpose, designed to support battles that most people could not face. It is not just about physical strength or emotional strength. It is about a shaped spiritual structure to support storms that would overthrow anyone. These are souls who, from the first sigh, were already destined to face the weight of missions that others would not bear, but which they represent the very reason for existing. According to Cayce, these spiritual marks do not manifest themselves obviously at first. Many times during childhood, these people feel displaced, as if they were living in a world that does not speak their language. While others play without worry, they already observe everything with almost supernatural attention, realizing patterns, energies, and intentions that go unnoticed to others. It is as if they have an internal radar, always active, always seeking what is beyond what you see. Over the years, these codes begin to reveal themselves, usually through trials, losses, or events that radically change the course of life. The pain that, for many, is a source of withdrawal, for them is the key that unlocks new layers of consciousness. Each expired challenge activates a new part of this invisible shielding, and each suffered fall becomes another level of protection. It is not about feeling pain, on the contrary, they feel deeply. But instead of breaking, they use each fragment to reinforce the structure of their own soul. Cayce believed that this spiritual configuration was like a contract between the spirit and the universe. These souls, in accepting the mission before incarnating, also agreed to go through moments that would test their faith and determination to the limit. This would explain why many of them cross periods of deep loneliness, not for lack of people around, but because not everyone can understand the weight they carry. It is an isolation that serves to strengthen the connection to the upper plane, to listen clearly to instructions that do not reach words, but in signs, dreams, and intuitions. He also described that throughout his life, these spiritual codes attract situations that act as triggers to manifest themselves. It is the friend who appears at the exact moment to avoid a tragedy. It is the inexplicable delay that prevents you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is that inner voice that says to change the way, for no apparent reason, and later revealed as a decision that saved lives. For those who observe from the outside, it seems coincidence. For those who live this, it is impossible not to recognize that there is something greater acting. This spiritual shield also has magnetic energy. She repels hard what can threaten the mission, but also intensely attracts what is aligned with her. This is why people with this spiritual brand often cross paths with other related souls, forming deep and transformative alliances. These are not random meetings, but connections prepared by something that is far beyond human understanding. But Cayce warned that this protection was not unbreakable. It depended on integrity with its own essence. When these souls try to deny who they are, live a life contrary to the purpose they carry, or ignore the signs they receive, this armor begins to weaken, not because they lose value, but because the connection to the source from which this force comes from becoming cloudy. And this is where they need to remember who they are and why they are here. Perhaps you have already felt this strength manifesting yourself in your life. Perhaps he was already wondered why he survived situations that seemed impossible, or why certain doors opened exactly when it was indicated that there was no way out. If this resonates with you, I want you to write in the comments, "I carry this code," so that I know how many here recognize this brand in your own soul. Scorpion carries the seal of eternal regeneration. a spiritual code that makes it capable of reborn how many times it is necessary. It is as if the scorpion soul is forged in fire and with each fall, returned even stronger. No one sees the battles that wrap in silence. Few imagine how many nights of insomnia, how many losses and how many scars are hidden behind a firm and penetrating look. Scorpio not only survives, he transforms himself. This capacity comes from an invisible protection that accompanies him from birth, a guardian who guides each step, and often manifests himself through subtle but powerful signs. This is why, even when everyone believes it came to an end, he resurfaces, wiser and more prepared for the next battle. Taurus is marked by spiritual stability, an invisible foundation that keeps it firm even in the midst of the most violent storms. The bull's force is not noisy, it is silent and solid. Many do not realize how much he supports before giving in, and that is exactly what makes him unshakable. No one sees the renunciations they made, the burdens he carried, or the pains he decided to endure alone to protect those who love. This resilience comes from a protection that acts like a wall around it, removing dangers and blocking attacks that could destroy your balance. There is something ancestral that sustains it, as if the energy of the earth and the deep roots were always in its favor. Lion carries the mark of unbreakable light. His soul shines even on darker nights, attracting attention and respect wherever he goes. What few understand is that this light did not come for free. It was cut through losses that could have erased any other. No one sees the internal battles they wrap to keep their flame on. Behind charisma and trust there is a spirit that has already been tested and proven, and that has the constant protection of higher forces. It is as if a spiritual, invisible lion is walking beside him, ready to roar and ward off any threat. This presence not only protects you, but also strengthens all those who choose to walk near it. Capricorn carries the seal of sacred resistance. Your life is marked by challenges that require patience, discipline, and an almost superhuman willpower. Many see only determination and coldness, but do not perceive the battles fought behind the scenes. How many times did you have to rebuild in silence? How many times did you face the weight of responsibility when no one else was willing to carry? Capricorn protection is like a stone wall, unbreakable and silent. It is a force that is not theatrical, but it is always there, supporting each step, blocking invisible attacks and guiding it to fulfill the purpose given to it before it was born. These 4 signs, according to Cayce, were shaped to support what others couldn't stand. Each in their own way, they carry unique spiritual codes, trials that shape their souls and guardians that never abandon them. Perhaps as I describe each of them, you are recognizing yourself in the stories, feeling that some of these words fits perfectly with your life. And that's exactly what I want to know about you now. Write in the comments what your sign is, and it is believed that it also carries this invisible protection. Use the phrase, "My guardian walks with me," so I can see who really feels this connection. If you have already felt goosebumps for no reason, as if an invisible presence passed you and touched your skin almost imperceptibly but intensely, you might have just felt the performance of this spiritual protection that Cayce described. Often it is not just a physical sensation, it is an energy that comes from within and at the same time, as if the surrounding air itself changed. Some explain this as an intuition, but for those who carry spiritual shielding, it's much more than that. It's a direct sign, a code from the subtle plan, confirming that you are not alone. And it's not just the goosebumps. There are times when you can swear to have heard your name, even though you are completely alone in a silent environment. It is a soft, sometimes familiar, sometimes strange, but always loaded force that makes you stop and pay attention. Many ignore this call, thinking it is imagination, but whoever lives protected by this invisible force knows this is a warning or reminder that your guardian's eyes are always on you. Dreams are also portals of revelation. How many times have you woken up with the feeling that what you saw at night was not just the result of the mind, but a message, a warning, a preparation for something that will still happen? In many cases, these dreams come with repeated symbols, agitated waters, gates that open, lights that come out of nowhere, or even people you don't know but transmit peace or urgency. These are clear signs that your spirit is being instructed as the body rests. Another powerful indication is synchronicity. Those moments when something seems too coincidence to be just chance. It is finding someone who changes your life just the day you decided to make a different way. It is seeing a repeated number several times on the same day, at times, signs, accounts, and even dreams. It is listening to a phrase or a song at the exact moment you needed an answer. All of this is part of the communication system of this spiritual shielding. It not only protects, but guides, pushing you in the right direction, even when you don't notice. And there is still that phenomenon that many describe as a sense of imminent danger that arises out of nowhere. You are about to make a decision, enter a place, or trust someone, and suddenly feel a weight in the air, a tightness in the chest, an inexplicable will to retreat. This is not paranoia. It is one of the lighter codes of this protection. It is as if your guardian placed himself in front of him and say, "Don't advance. It's not safe here." When you respect this sign, you almost always find out after you got rid of something much worse. Even in the small things, this shield manifests itself. An unexpected delay that makes you lose a transport, and later you find that something bad happened on the way. An object you lose and therefore avoid being in a certain place. A conversation that doesn't happen the moment you wanted, but later it is better like that. These details, when added, reveal a pattern that it is impossible to ignore. It is important to understand that these signs are not random. They are personalized, molded to their way of perceiving the world. The universe knows exactly how to talk to you. For some, it is through physical sensations such as chills. For others, it is through dreams or visual signs. There are also those who receive messages through other people, who say exactly what you needed to hear, even without knowing what is happening in your life. And maybe you are remembering many situations now. Perhaps it has felt no explanation, dreamed of something that later happened, or diverted away for pure instinct, and later thanked it for it. These moments are not chance. It is proof that your shield is active and working to your advantage. I want to know how many here have gone through this. Write in the comments, "I recognize my signs," and if you want, share which was the most striking of your life. I will read each one, because these stories help not only confirm their experience, but also to awaken others who have not yet learned to hear their own codes. When Cayce talked about the power of the word and intention, he made it clear that there is no difference between what is said in the physical plane and what is declared on the spiritual plane. The way you affirm something about yourself is how to record a code in your own energy field. That's why, when I ask you to write here in the comments phrases like, "I carry this energy," or "I accept my essence," I'm not just asking for interaction for asking. I am inviting you to a ritualistic act, a conscious way to confirm to yourself and the universe that recognizes who it is and what it carries. Each time you write these words, something is recorded. It is like putting your signature into an invisible contract, confirming that you accept this armor which recognizes your guardian, who assumes her role as someone who carries rare spiritual codes. No wonder so many old traditions use the word as a tool for creation and protection. Sound, writing, thought, all shapes the energy around you. Imagine that every comment with these phrases is like a spiritual seal being activated. That's why I encourage you not only to watch, but participate. Because those who participate create movement, and movement is life. This is how the energy circulates. When you write, "I accept my essence," you are telling yourself that you will no longer deny your own nature. When it writes, "I carry this energy," he is stating that this force is not temporary, that it is part of you, and that it will accompany you in any battle. And it doesn't matter if someone outside doesn't understand. This ritual is not for others. It is for the energy that accompanies you. It is like lighting a candle in silence, knowing that that simple gesture carries immense power. Here the comment is the candle, and the words are the flame. The more people light up this flame, the stronger the light that spreads. Realize that when someone reads a comment with these sentences, the vibration multiplies. Who feels connection will want to repeat, and so we created a chain. It is no coincidence when dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of people write the same sentence. It is a collective energy field forming, and in this field there is protection, strength, and shared purpose. And you can go further. You can write simply, or you can add something personal, such as, "I carry this energy and it guides me every day," or "I accept my essence and I will never hide it again." Each personalization is like an extra detail in this spiritual seal, making it unique and even more connected to your soul. I want you to realize that the act of commenting here is part of the journey, not an isolated detail. It is the moment when you declare with full conscience that it is part of this circle, and in doing so, you not only strengthen yourself, but it also contributes to others awakening to your own strength. Maybe while I speak, you're feeling like taking the phone, opening the comment box and writing now. If this is the case, do not ignore. This impulse can be exactly your guardian saying, confirm, declare, activate. Do this as one seals a promise to yourself. And remember, here each word has weight. Each comment is an echo that resonates in the invisible. So when I finished listening, I want to see your best writing, spreading these sentences, multiplying this energy. Use, I carry this energy, or I accept my essence as a call, as a flag that we will all recognize. And if you have already felt that this armor has manifested yourself in your life, write together, I am living proof of it. I will read one by one, because each story strengthens this current that we are building. Now take a deep breath and feel that something bigger is being prepared for you. If your sign has appeared here, never doubt. You are not alone. No matter how quiet your walk has been so far, nor how much the people around them have been unable to see the depth of their strength. The truth is that if these words have resonated within you, it is because their essence recognizes this call. And it is not any call, it is a call that crosses time, which echoes from other lives, that carries memories and spiritual pacts signed long before you are here. Edgar Cayce said that these chosen do not appear at random, nor appear at any time. They arrive at decisive times in human history, when invisible forces need to balance, when energies need to be realigned, and when certain collective paths need guardians to prevent them from getting lost. You are not here to live any life. You are here to hold on keys that open doors that many don't even know exist. Perhaps this mission has already started for you without realizing it. It may be in people you protect effortlessly, in situations where you have put yourself in someone's shoes to prevent that person from suffering, in the difficult decisions they made even knowing that they would cost a lot of oneself. And each time you acted that way, the spiritual shield that accompanies you has strengthened yourself, as if to say, yes, you are on the right track. But Cayce also warned, this protection, even being powerful, responds directly to its connection with its own essence. When you try to be who is not, when you move away from what you were born to do, this energy begins to act otherwise. It's not that it disappears, but it creates signs of discomfort, situations that seem to push you back to your true purpose. Many times, it is at this moment that life begins to close that do not serve, to cut ties that weaken its mission, and this may seem painful at first, but later you realize that it was exactly what needed to happen. That's why I always say pay attention to the signs, because they never lie. Those unexpected delays, those sudden changes of route, those people who enter or leave their lives almost inexplicably. None of this is by chance. Spiritual shielding is not only used to ward off what threatens you, but also to bring you closer. And now, I want you to understand that what we talk about today is just part of something much bigger. In the next video, I will reveal what Edgar Cayce predicted about the final mission of these chosen ones. And when I say end, I'm not talking about a common end, but the climax of the spiritual journey, the point where all the pieces of the puzzle finally fit, and the true reason for all the way. Rito reveals himself. If you got here, I know it was not out of passing curiosity. You are here because this message found echo in your spirit. And I want you to tell me in the comments, I continue the journey, so that I know who will be with me in the next revelation. If you want, also tell how you perceive your own armor manifest in life. I will read and answer, because this is the moment when we build not only a channel, but a circle of people who understand the weight and blessing of carrying this kind of energy. Don't forget to leave your like, because it helps this message reach more people who need to wake up to what they carry within themselves. Activate the bell not to lose the next video, because it will bring answers that you may have been looking for years. And mainly, keep your heart open. If you stayed with me here, it is because this message spoke directly to your soul. So before you leave, you already subscribe to the channel to continue this journey with me here. Each video is another piece of your spiritual puzzle. I also want you to comment below the phrase, I follow protected, so that I know that you have been with me until the end, and that is part of this circle of energy we are forming. If this content has touched your heart, Leave your like now because it further strengthens this chain and makes other people find this message. And not stop here. The next video with the continuation of this revelation is already appearing on the screen, on the left. Click on it now and come with me, because what I'm going to tell you there will further deepen everything you felt today.